Today I fucked up finding out the elevator thing is real. So this happened about 3 hours ago. Me and a few buddies decided, let's go down to LA for the weekend. Wheel a few hour drive and a few road sodas later, we arrived at a super swanky Japanese hotel in Little Tokyo. None of us being from California originally, we kinda forgot they worry about earthquakes here. We checked in and got to the hotel room where we started drinking whiskey and rough housing around. One of my buddies decided he wanted sushi. Now buzzed us decide fuck it and headed to the elevator. Once we got in, one of my buds decided to try to fight the rest of us. We started fucking around in the elevator and then suddenly he got the bright idea to jump. Nothing happened, so we laughed and he asked us all to jump. He counted to 3 and we all launched ourselves as high as we could. Fun fact, did you know elevators in California have seismic brakes? The second we hit the ground the elevator slammed to a stop. At first it was funny, but then we couldn't get it to open. We started pressing every button we could and nothing happened. This then led to us being stuck in it for about an hour and had to call for help. They ended up having to pry the doors open and give us a ladder to climb out. This was all fine until they told us they saw us on the CCTV jumping and the bill for emergency evac is on us. So long story short. That thing they said when you were younger about breaking elevators by jumping? Well, fuck me, it's true, don't do it. Too long did not read. Went to a swanky hotel and tried jumping in the elevator. Got stuck and am now stuck with a $1,000 plus bill. That, I will grant you, is a fuck up. You got off lightly with the $1,000 bill. An elevator out of action for an hour. A member of staff coordinating your rescue. The rescue itself taking their time away, which may have been needed for an actual emergency? Make damn sure that everyone in your group pays their fair share. You guys are idiots. Read the story because wanted to find out what that elevator thing is. Road sodas? Seriously? Drinking and driving? You're a piece of shit. This is so embarrassing. Who the fuck drives to another city and rents a hotel room just to get drunk and roughhouse with the boys? Very weird vibes here. Don't act like an embarrassment in public. Today I fucked up by washing my boyfriend's pillow. Due to a huge renovation and remodeling of my workplace, I'm off work for a few weeks. I live together with my boyfriend of 6 years and we've planned a vacation in the upcoming week, so I figured I might as well do an apartment deep clean while he's at work before we leave for our 2-week-long vacation. I'm doing a different room each day and today's task was the bedroom. My boyfriend has a pillow he likes to either lay on or hug while he's asleep. It's like a decor pillow for sofas but softer with a dark red pillowcase. He has had it since he was 3 years old. It was the decor of his grandpa's living room and he stole it because he liked the feel of it. His grandpa said he can keep it. He has since passed away and it reminds my boyfriend of him. I put the bedding in the washing machine and figured his cuddle pillow could use a wash. It smelled, not like a pillow should smell, and I don't know when he washed it for the last time. I kept it in the pillowcase and put it in between our bedding so it doesn't get pushed around too hard. I wanted to get rid of the smell and have it fresh. So I open our washing machine back up and pull out his pillow. The case is still perfectly intact but the actual pillow feels weird, so I open the case. Just balls of cotton and some pieces of fabric. The entire pillow fell apart inside the pillowcase. It was too fragile even for the soft wash setting. It was over 23 years old and didn't survive a soft wash. My boyfriend is coming back from work at noon today. I will have to admit it. I called my mom in panic and she said to buy a similar sized pillow, take out a bit of stuffing and put it back in the pillowcase, and just say you washed it. But I don't feel comfortable lying to his face. I'm nervous. Too long did not read. I destroyed my boyfriend's favorite pillow by washing it. Tell him the truth. Don't try to replace it. If there are any bits of the red fabric left over, maybe the two of you can make something from it. You destroyed his childhood pillow. Well, there's only one thing you can do. You need a new name, social, and passport. I know a guy, he can help you flee the country. You're a Kashmir goat farmer from Kyrgyzstan and your name is Gertrude. Gertrude M. Tarkhauser. Good luck, Gertie. Do you mind if I call you Gertie? I know only your close friends call you Gertie, but I feel like we have a rapport. Anyway, good luck, Gertie. My guy will contact you. Maybe once things cool off you can send your ex a nice cashmere pillow? Bury the hatchet and all. Least you could do. The exact same thing happened to my curtains. We thought it could use a wash, and when taken out, threads were hanging out and there's fluff, the stuff that's sewn together to make the curtain. It's been about 3 years since we hung the curtains, but I was not expecting that to happen. But about telling him. When someone is really attached to something, they'll know the difference. Always. I'd say, tell him. Don't do anything to the pillow anymore, and don't restuff it. Just leave it as it is now and wait until he gets home to tell him. Let him decide what to do with it. I don't know why people are telling you to restuff it or replace it, it's terrible advice. The damage is done, just own up to it, don't make it worse. Let him decide. Things like this happen. I see no reason to not just straightforward tell him. He'll understand. Just tell him you're sorry and try to compensate for it. Maybe you could find something similar to replace it. Honesty above all. Switching the pillow silently and hoping he wouldn't notice is a bad idea. Today I fucked up by smoking a blunt without pants on. Today is my first day off and I celebrated by burning my dick and balls before the sun rose. This morning, I woke up extra early, 4:30 am, for some unknown reason and couldn't get back to sleep. I decided to quietly extricate myself from bed so as not to disturb my wife. I slipped on my robe without the frivolity of closing it before venturing forth. Looking for something to do while sleep eluded me, and being the mature adult I am, I settled on cartoons and marijuana. I figured I already had the wake part down, so why not include the bake as well? In retrospect, that was a mistake. Rather than roll a reasonable joint, I elected to light up one of the 3 grams blunts I had rolled prior that week. Initially, it was going pretty good, and I was in heaven, just reclined back in my easy chair, family jewels hanging out in the breeze whilst getting unreasonably stoned. Where my ashcan was located, I'll admit was questionable, between my legs and next to my exposed genitals. About halfway through my blunt I went to flick the ash into the can, and instead the entire burning cherry fell off, bouncing off the can's rim, landing right in the crease formed where cock and balls meet. The lance of searing hot pain immediately shot through my groin, so I slapped at it trying to brush off this burning ember. Unfortunately, the way I slapped at it levered my dick forward, crushing this red-hot ball of cannabis between my dick and testicles like a panini press. Burned, blistering, and panicked with pain, I ran to the bathroom and hopped in the shower to cool off my burned manhood. The commotion waking up my wife. So here I am, in pain, naked, wet, cold, and extremely stoned, trying to explain everything to my other half, who thinks this is all extremely funny. That was lots of fun, so was bandaging up my blistered member. Don't be like me, smoke responsibly, and always wear the proper PPE. Too long did not read. Burned my precious junk accidentally with a joint bequasse. I wasn't wearing pants. I woke up extra early, 4:30 am. Actually, you woke up 10 minutes late if you know what I mean. Trying to explain everything to my other half, who thinks this is all extremely funny. She's right, it is extremely funny. Sorry for the burn on your Cadillac. That is the best opening sentence I've read on here all week, LMAO. Today is my first day off and I celebrated by burning my dick and balls before the sun rose. That is a great opening line. Like a panini press, all the description I needed. Today I fucked up by thinking my car heater uses fuel. So, I grew up in a place where it was always warm and we never needed the heat on in cars. We'd only use AC and sparingly because it uses a lot of fuel. And for months now, I've been driving around cold because I thought keeping the heater on would burn through my gas in the same way. I mean, I was trying to save money, you know? But guess what? I just found out that using the heater in your car doesn't actually use up fuel. It's essentially free because it gets warmth from the engine. The fan uses the tiniest amount of energy, so you can stay warm without having to worry about burning through gas. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about this whole thing. I'm like, on one hand, I'm so happy that I can finally be warm in my car. But on the other hand, I can't help but feel a little dumb for not knowing this all along. I mean, when else in life does heating not cost money? I just assumed, loudly crying. Too long did not read. Been driving around cold because I assumed heating uses fuel like AC, turns out it's basically free. No worries, electric cars drop range massively when you run them with your heater on, so you were just a bit too far in the future with your knowledge. Yes, internal combustion engines have to dump a huge amount of waste heat from the radiator to keep working. What you don't use to heat the car gets blown into the air. CHP, combined heat and power, is a thing. Gas or diesel engine drives an alternator to make electricity. It's cheaper than buying it from the grid because you avoid the big transmission losses, resistance in the distribution cables. The heat is free if you can use it for space or water heating. Power stations have huge evaporative cooling towers to chuck that heat away. Mythbusters says your AC on versus off has very little effect on fuel. My old VW would switch from gas mileage to liters per hour when you stopped. With the AC on it was burning 0.2 L per hour over idling with it off. I assume when you're driving this loss would be a little less maybe. Either way I'm not going to be hot for 0.2 L an hour. Well technically it does use fuel then.